Here we are, packed into our ice cream van of YouTube audio reviews, bound for Moo Moo Land. Justified and very much ancient.
Oh, yeah.
So welcome to Is It? With me, Dan and Sean, or Justified and Ancient as we are now. And today we're looking at the...
This is the Wavesfactory Flash.
It's not an instruction.
Thank Christ. No, it's not an instruction. This is a transient processor, Dan.
Ah, very cool. So, again, as we were talking, weren't we, a little before the show.
We were.
What does a transient processor do?
So, transients are the spiky bits in an audio signal. So, a drum hit is a transient, or the pluck of a string is a transient.
The bits
rather than...
The bits you see in your files.
The up and downy bits of a waveform basically are your transients. And sometimes those transients are a little bit lackluster and sometimes they're a bit much. And sometimes within a mix or within an individual recording, they might need fixing. They might need to have more sustain, they might need more attack, and there are transient processors in the world which allow you to mess with those.
So that could be the transients created by the sound of a kick drum, or the sound of a violin, or the beat from an 808, or indeed the sound of a whole track. Even
sometimes a vocal, there are transients, like especially for rapping. There's transients, very strong transients in that, and you can back them off or you can push them forward.
Okay,
totally changes a mix. And also within mastering,
yeah,
quite often you have to mess with the transients because someone has overcompressed the drums in their track and it's lost all its transients and it needs them back.
So what's the difference, say, between a transient processor and a compressor or a limiter?
Okay, so a compressor limits the dynamic range of a signal, which can flatten out the transients.
Yeah.
A limiter is basically a very, very heavy compressor, so it's doing the same. Whereas this hasn't really got anything in common with those. This literally allows you to adjust the envelope of a piece of audio.
Okay. So it's not triggered by the audio, you're saying?
It is triggered by the audio, but it allows you to adjust that piece of audio in a way over time, basically.
Okay.
So when something's got a very hard start to it, like a snare drum or a kick drum, let's say, you could adjust how hard that hits. And then let's say you're dealing with a kick drum, maybe it hasn't got enough sustain. This allows you to elongate that sound to give it more sustain.
Okay.
Or less.
Very cool. You bring us neatly onto the controls there.
Yeah, so there's attack and there's sustain. So give it more attack, it will be more transient, more clicky, more stabby. And sustain allows you to elongate the notes, which is, sometimes what you need. It works in mid-side, so you can adjust. There's a control there where you can say, right, I want this to affect the mids more, or I want it to affect the sides more. There's also a clipper built in, which is quite useful.
And mid-side mode would be quite... I can see how that would be really quite a cool tool.
Really useful. Look, as mid-side processing goes, transient processing in the mid-side domain really helps, because obviously your kick and snare are bang in the middle.
Exactly,
so you can really adjust those transients in the mix and leave everything else alone, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool little thing.
Very cool. So we've done a few Wavesfactories now, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
The Wavesfactory's Flash.
Yeah, it's very good. And
is it shit?
It's not shit at all. And there's two other good things about it, Dan.
Go on. Oh, sorry.
Well, one, it's scalable. Okay. And the other one is it's free.
Free and scalable.
Free and scalable. I would grab this no matter what. You will always need a transient processor of some kind, and this is free and it's good.
Well, I haven't got one, so I will be grabbing it, people.
There you go.
Wonderful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Or stumble over your words. And don't forget, we've got an Instagram, which is Studio Life 101. There's also a Patreon, and we've got a merch store and all that other stuff. Links below.
Wonderful.
See you next time.
Take care.
Bye.